Hi everyone, it's Tracy here from Art Fiber Stitch. I have a piece of linen here that's printed and it has so many nice areas in it. I just keep looking and seeing which bit could I use. Now because it's linen and it's got a loose weave, I've put a piece of white underneath it and that'll help make it more vibrant too. I've decided to add a few colours, so I'm getting out my Inktense. I really like these sticks because you can add colour and then once you've wet it, it sets it and you're good to go. It's not going to come off. So what I'm using here is a aquarine colour, a teal, and or a blue or something like that. I'm just very delicately putting a tiny bit of colour on. And I'm using the side of it quite a lot, the side of the block, because I don't want definite lines. What I'm aiming for here is a watercolor kind of effect. So I'm hoping we'll get a nice watercolor effect background doing this, but it's an experiment and we'll see. I'm going to grab another color now. This one's a green, and I'm going to just add a bit of an olive green, that one. I'm just going to add a tiny little touch on the inside of those leaves. I've decided that this sprig of leaves here is going to be my focal point. It's the bit that I want everyone to look at. Everything else can be in the background. Now, as I said, water. I've got this handy little thing here, the little tube that I can just spray water directly onto it. And you can watch the colour develop. It'll dry slightly lighter, but it's really interesting to watch. So I'm just giving it a bit of a wet. And then I'm going to, because it's still not doing the watercolor thing, I could add a lot more water, or in this case, I'm just going to use my finger. And I'm just going to rub it into the fibers. And because there's that color on my finger, I can actually transfer that in, up here. See, a little tinge of blue made it more watercolorish. And I think that's working. But if you don't want to get filthy, you can just use a paintbrush. Look at that, isn't that pretty? That's what I wanted to do, spread that blue out so there wasn't too much of it. And now I'm going to do the same with the green leaves, just with my finger. I'm just going to make sure that it, I've smoothed out those edges a bit. There we are. So right now I have put this, I've used an overlocker to put that white fabric behind. What I'm trying to do is keep the grain of the fabric straightish, straight up, straight down. But I'm ready enough to start stitching. I've grabbed this green cotton. This is a crochet cotton or a pearl cotton. And I'm going to start with that. Thread my needle, knot in the end. And I don't know if you can see it, but there is a vague kind of leaf, I don't know, frond, I don't know what to call it, but there is something in the background there. And I'm just going to see if we can make it stand out slightly more. I'm not using a very vibrant color. I don't want it to stand out too much because this is the background. See here, I'm just doing a couple of knots, a couple of stitches on top of each other to be a knot. And now I'm going to start with this teal color. I want to add a bit of color. I want it to be more vibrant on that focal point that I have there. So we'll see how that goes. But running stitch, you can do a lot with running stitch. I love it. And how good is it to start with a print that's already there? You don't have to imagine what to do. You only need the one piece of fabric and you're virtually colouring in with running stitch. And I like that idea. I think a lot of people are frightened by just, where do I start? But what a great thing. If there's a beautiful print that you like, use that. And you're going to go around the edges. You're going to go in the center. You're just going to bring different colors in and make it pop. So we'll have another look here. It's looking nice. I like that blue. I like that bit of color. So we'll continue. Sometimes I'll go outside of the leaf shape, right outside, and I'll extend that leaf shape a bit by using other running stitch lines. Let's have a closer look so you can actually see it. Can you see there? Outside the line. we are. Yep, happy. So I'm going to add, I started with very neutrally kind of colours that were already in there. Well, maybe not the teal. And here I am grabbing a really vibrant green, almost a yellowy green. I thought a little bit of highlight would be nice in these leaves. Bring some colour in. I do love colour, all kinds of colours. What's your favourite colour, I get asked, but who knows? Different days, different colours, different blends of colours. But I think this is going to work. We're sticking with this. Everything from yellow through green, through bluey green, and even maybe some blue. Yeah, here's a nice mid-coloured aqua. And I'm going to use it to just give a bit more depth to these leaves at the back. This, whatever it is, this plant. I'm going to call it a plant. And just continuing down, see, sometimes I'm not even going all the way through to the back. I'm just going through the top layer, and then other times I'll go through and anchor it to the back a little bit. But whatever I do, I'm going to make it loose so that it won't bunch up on me. See here, I'm going to go behind this leaf because that's where that plant is, behind. And I like to continue until I've finished a thread. So down here there's some grassy kind of fronds, and I'm going to pick them out as well with the last of my thread. How wonderful to see what you can see in a fabric that's there and add to it, adding your own personal touches. It's very mindful craft because you don't have a pattern. You're not trying to complete anything. It's finished when you want. But it's very, very therapeutic. I'm going to add in some other colours now, some stranded cottons. Can you see the ones I've gotten out? I might use any of those. Like I said, greens through to blues. And we'll see. I've got dark, I've got light, I've got bright, I've got all kinds. Let's see if we can get them all in there somehow, or at least most of them. I'm going to start with this light blue stranded cotton, and I'm going to cut myself a length, and I'm going to split it. It's 6 strands, and I'm only going to use 3 of them. I'll use the other half of it later. Thread a needle, knot in the end, and up from the back, and here we go. This is a run of stitches. That's why we call it running stitch, I think. Anyway, that's why I call it that. So I'm going to go here again. I'm going to go behind that leaf there. And what we're doing is we're adding different colors, I won't have anything too bright on those ones in the background, but I will have some highlight in this pretty blue and, you know, other things. We're speeding it up so that you don't have to watch me stitch every stitch. That would be boring. All right, so I've grabbed some dark teal now. This is almost too dark, and I think what I will use it for, and only 3 strands again, is I'm going to go up those black stems and add just a touch of that teal color to it and see how that goes. I'm not taking too many risks yet. Everything is believable in there. Faster again, and that has really added some lovely color. I like it. This is coming along nicely, and I hope you give it a go. Find something nice, some nice print that inspires you to just stitch. Yeah, I'd like some of those grasses to show. It's a bit tricky. I want the top of the leaf, or do I want some of those grasses? I'll have to decide. I'm going to grab this variegated pearl cotton now, and it is got beautiful bright yellow through to green. Very, very nice. And it's a bit thicker, you see, so I think it's going to stand out as a highlight. Oh, I won't need to do much. I could just do 1 stripe down here and that would be enough. I'm not always just going straight. I won't sometimes outside the edges. Sometimes I do a curvy line. in that leaf shape. And you'll just pick it up and do it as you like. That's the whole joy of it. Nice. And then I'll transfer underneath. I'll go underneath. And I'll go and do another leaf. Speeding up again. That little touch of yellow really does help to make it vibrant. Yellowy green. I love a variegated thread. I find them so useful. So where will we get? Oh, yep. See, I don't want to pull it too tight. I'm always loosening it. Stretching it out. I don't want it to pucker. I think it'll be all right, especially once it's had an iron. Some people might like to use a hoop, or perhaps you could have easily put an iron-on stiffening behind it, to make sure it stayed, what's the word? Just nice and solid, rather than waving around everywhere as that loose weave of the linen will do. So some green now. I'm adding a touch of green here to the leaves. Don't want it to just be teal and yellow. That's the colour in between that helps it all blend together. Yep, there we go, stretching it out again, making sure it's going to be flat. And see how I always turn the work? I'm a right-hander, and that makes it easier for me to just keep stitching. So I'm going down between two little lines of running stitch there, just to add that touch. But look at it, isn't it pretty? So much fun, so enjoyable, and not that hard, really. Running stitch, have a go. I hope you've liked this video. If you have, don't forget to press like and subscribe if you haven't already. We're always doing something fun, and I hope I have encouraged you to start slow stitching. Thank you.